Hi students, welcome to SP Chemistry. In today's session, we will discuss some chemistry practical viva questions of class 12. And today we will discuss some questions on salt analysis. So at the end of this session, you will be acquainted with the practical viva questions based on salt analysis. So let us discuss question number 1. What is qualitative analysis? So qualitative analysis means what? The type of analysis that deals with the methods which are used to determine the constituent of a compound, right? That is known as qualitative analysis. Then question number 2, what are acidic radicals? Acidic and basic radicals. So radicals carrying positive charge are known as basic radicals, and those carrying negative charge known as acidic radicals. For example, YNaOH. It is a base because it gives OH minus ions. So NaOH, Na plus. Positive, it carries positive charge. So it comes from base. That is why it is known as basic radical. Right? And then HCl. It is an acid. H plus, Cl minus. So the species carrying negative charge. Those carrying negative charge, since it is derived from acid, it is known as acidic radical. Clear? Then question number 3, why do inorganic salt ionize when dissolved in water? Remember, due to high dielectric constant of water, the force of attraction holding the two ions of a salt decreases. Thus, the two ions separate and the ions are further stabilized by solvation. That is why inorganic salt ionize when dissolved in water. Then question number 4, name the colored basic radicals. So colored basic radicals are Cu2 plus, Fe2 plus, Fe3 plus, then chromium Cr3 plus, nickel 2 plus, cobalt 2 plus and Mn 2 plus. So these are colored basic radicals. Then what is the color of iron salts? So iron salt, ferrous salts are usually light green, while ferric are, this is ferrous salts. Ferrous salts are light green, while ferric salts. Salts like ferric sulfate, you can see, generally brown. Ferric sulfate are generally brown, right? Usually brown. And ferrous sulfate, that is light green. You might have observed in lab. So next question. Question number 6. Name the iron salt which is light green. Already discussed. FeSO4. That is ferrous sulfate is light green. Then question number 7. What is the color of nickel salts? Remember, nickel salts is bluish green. Or green. Simply green. Then question number 8. Name the basic radicals which are absent if given salt is white. So if white, all the colored basic radicals, those are absent. It is very simple, already discussed. So colored salts are Cu2 plus, and then ferrous, ferric Fe3 plus, Cr3 plus, Ni nickel 2 plus, cobalt 2 plus and Mn 2 plus. So it is just question is twisted. Name the colored basic radicals or name the basic radicals which are absent if the given salt is white. Right? Same question may be asked in different ways. Then why a salt containing lead turn black in color when placed for a long time in laboratory? Because due to formation of black color lead sulfide by the action of H2S. Right? So lead sulfide, that is black in color. So H2S present in atmosphere. So due to formation of black lead sulfide by the action of H2S in atmosphere, a salt containing lead turn black, right? Then question number 10, what is the color of residue when zinc salt is heated? A residue yellow, forms yellow residue when hot, and white residue when cold, right? So next question, which flame is used in charcoal cavity test? Which flame? That is reducing flame. Reducing flame. How is it obtained? Reducing flame, that is obtained by closing the air holes of the Bunsen burner. So reducing flame is obtained, and that is used in charcoal cavity test. Then question number 12, in a flame test, sodium imparts yellow color to the white here, while magnesium doesn't impart any color. That means in a flame test, sodium imparts, that is yellow color, also golden yellow, while magnesium doesn't impart any color. Why? Because in case of magnesium, the energy of flame is unable to promote the electrons here to the radical or to the flame, right? While magnesium doesn't impart any color, because that energy of the flame is unable to promote the electron to higher energy level in case of what? Magnesium. Hence no color is impaired. Hence no color is imparted in case of magnesium. But in case of sodium, ionization energy is low. So that flame energy in the flame, that is sufficient enough to promote the electron to higher energy level. That is why yellow color is shown in flame test. Then question number 13, why do we use concentrated HCl, hydrochloric acid, in presence of a paste of the salt for flame test? So we prepare a paste while we perform flame test in lab. So why that concentrated HCl is used? Because in order to convert that metal salts into metal chlorides. Why metal chlorides? Because that metal chlorides are more volatile than that of other salts. So here to convert metal salts into metal chlorides, because in comparison to other salts, these are more volatile. Right? Then why do barium salts not impart color to the flame immediately? Why? Because barium chloride is less volatile and imparts color to the flame after some time, right? Then question number 15, why borax bead test is not applicable in case of white salts? Because white salts, they do not form colored metaborates. Right? That is why when the given salt is white, we don't perform borax bead test. So borax bead test is performed only for colored salts. Why? Because white salts, they do not form colored metaborates. Now question number 16, next question is there. So what is Nessler's reagent? Nessler's reagent, it is a solution of mercuric iodide, that is here K2Hg. solution of mercuric iodide in Ki, potassium iodide, mercuric iodide in Ki. And this formula is, you can write K2HgI4. This is Nessler's reagent. Then question number 17, name the acid radicals detected with dilute sulfuric acid. So with dilute sulfuric acid, see carbonate, sulfide, then SO3 minus, NO2 minus. So these are the radicals, acid radicals detected with dilute sulfuric acid. Then with concentrated, name the acid radicals detected by concentrated sulfuric acid. All halogens, Cl minus, Br minus, I minus, NO nitrate, NO3 minus, then acetate, CH3CO minus, and oxalate, C2O4 2 minus, right? So these are detected by concentrated sulfuric acid. The next question, how is ring test performed from? Ring test is performed for nitrates. So when brown ring is formed, so to the what happens in while performing ring test, to the salt solution freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution is added, and then concentrated sulfuric acid is added along the walls of the test tube, and a dark brown ring is formed at the junction of two solutions, which confirms the presence of nitrate ion, right? So at first, in brown ring test, freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution is added, and then concentrated sulfuric acid is added along the walls of the test tube, and if a dark brown ring is formed at the junction of the two solutions, which confirms the presence of nitrate ion. That is known as brown ring test or simply ring test performed for nitrates. Then last question, carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide both turn lime water milky. How will you distinguish between them? So CO2 turns lime water milky, SO2 turns lime water milky. How will you distinguish or differentiate them? Remember, by passing acidified potassium dichromate K2Cr2O7 solution. Acidified potassium dichromate solution, SO2 turns K2Cr2O7 turns green, while CO2 carbon dioxide has no effect, right? So SO2 turns acidified potassium dichromate, that is K2Cr2O7, SO2 turns green. That means this acidified color of acidified K2Cr2O7 turns green, but CO2 has no effect. CO2 no effect. So in this way we can distinguish or differentiate CO2 and SO2. So dear students, these are questions and answers. In next session we will discuss some more questions based on salt analysis. Till then, bye bye. Thank you all.